So we have take 2 of our mock draft because Mr. Mac over here was having some problems, but we'll start over again. So it's our first mock this year.
Yep.
I don't know if we're doing any other. I guess we'll do one like right before the draft.
Yeah,
might as well. We'll do a 2.0 in there, but this is February 3rd. We'll do an early one, but we're doing the first 11 picks because Mike over here does not know all the prospects that Andrew knows, and you probably watch a lot more highlights and stuff.
I do.
Watched a lot more YouTube videos than I have. So we're doing the first 11 picks. We'll throw the Giants in there. That's why we're doing 11, not 10. But all right, let's get into it. The Jaguars, I think we know who they're taking. Trevor Lawrence, we both agree. We agree on the first 2 picks, but we'll go with Trevor Lawrence.
It's pretty obvious at this point. And I think I said in the last time we tried to do this, look, he would have been picked probably first overall last year, right? If Joe Burrow didn't have such a great year, I could see Trevor Lawrence being picked as a sophomore number 1 overall. I mean, he was fantastic. He's only lost 2 games in his college football career, and he plays at Clemson, so it's pretty impressive. I think Trevor Lawrence is the easy pick here.
Yeah, seems like, the greatest prospect since Andrew Luck, basically.
Yeah,
he gets the John Elway, Peyton Manning comparisons, and look, I don't know if he could single-handedly fix Jacksonville because they have a crappy defense, a very crappy defense, but some offensive line pieces, Jawan Taylor and Norwell. So, DJ Chark, Laviska Shenault, they got some stuff going on there, but they definitely need a lot more. As I said before, I think they have 10 draft picks in the first 5 rounds, so they can fix this thing relatively quickly. Urban Meyer's there. We'll see what he brings there for the head coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars, but I don't know. Trevor Lawrence seems like a no-brainer, so, hopefully it works out for them. Hopefully he stays healthy, unlike Joe Burrow did this year, but they have to protect him. We know that, We'll find out. For the Jets, number 2, I have Zach Wilson, and so do you.
Yeah, I have Zach Wilson as well. I think you move on from Sam Darnold. As much as I would like the Jets to keep Sam Darnold, because I think they legit have a shot with Sam Darnold at some point, I think when you bring in a new coach like that, he's probably going to want to start over, stay fresh, pick a quarterback that he wants, that he likes, that he feels comfortable with right away, bring him up through the system, and I think Zach Wilson is the guy to do it. You could go Justin Fields here, you could trade for Deshaun Watson. Both I see as unlikely, and honestly, I'd rather have Zach Wilson for the compensation that you'd be giving up for a guy like Deshaun Watson and just the raw talent of unknown about. I guess Justin Fields is the safer pick, but I'd rather go for the higher ceiling in this case. You're the Jets, right? People aren't going to expect much from you. You got to go out there and you got to just throw something out there. I think Zach Wilson can be a very elite quarterback if he reaches his highest potential, and I think he very well might with the New York Jets, hopefully, because I kind of want the Jets to succeed every now and then.
Little brother,
yeah.
But so I think that Zach Wilson would be a good fit for the Mike LaFleur offense. Kind of like Kyle Shanahan, it does fit his skill set. So I think if you're between Zach Wilson and do we keep Sam Darnold, I think the answer is easy because of the rookie contract. It's not like Sam Darnold's going to cost $40 million a year, but the rookie contract for a quarterback is so much more valuable. And you're not going to get Sam Darnold for, a 5-year deal for $7 million a year. It's not going to happen. He's going to ask for a bit more, although he's had a disappointing start to his career. And we're not saying that Zach Wilson's better than Deshaun Watson.
Correct.
You just don't want to give up all the draft picks because you can take Zach Wilson and take 4 or 5 other early picks and help the Jets as a team rather than just the quarterback position. Although it's very important, but you want to have a better team. So the Jets have some pieces. Mekhi Becton came on. Denzel Mims had a pretty good rookie year when he played. So there's some pieces there, but they have to get a lot better. So I think keeping the draft picks, taking Zach Wilson, I think and we think is the right thing to do.
Yep.
Number 3 is where we start to disagree. I'm going to have Jamar Chase for the Dolphins, and you're going with Devontae Smith, right?
Yeah, I just think it's a better fit for the Dolphins, if I'm being honest. I think Mike mentioned this before, and he brings up a good point. They're more of like a physical team, right? You got Mike Gesicki, Devontae Parker, guys that you can throw up to, and they'll come down and get it. And Jamar Chase is that guy, but I think they need a separator. And I think Devontae Smith is the more natural separator. More natural, I guess that's the right way to say it. More natural separator. And look, he needs to go lift the weights. He needs to gain some weight. But this guy is a natural separator, and that's what the Dolphins need. And they need some familiarity if they decide to keep Tua Tagovailoa. And what's better than drafting a guy that Tua used to play with over at Alabama? I think it makes sense. I think it's a big need. You could go offensive tackle with this pick, but you do have another first-round pick later in the draft. I think there's way too much of a drop-off from the first 3 receivers to the next after that, so I definitely think you have to attack a receiver here. I think Devontae Smith is the guy.
I see where you're coming from because I think Tua, based on what he did at Alabama, plays better with wide receivers that can separate rather than physical guys because the Dolphins, as we said, Gesicki, Preston Williams, Devontae Parker, all physical receivers, but they don't have that like finesse separation guy like Devontae Smith. But as I said before, the Dolphins have a type, and I feel like Jamar Chase fits that mold. So I don't know. I could see your side of it. I think that we both agreed before Jamar Chase is safer, and you don't want to blow that third overall pick. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, they could go quarterback. I've seen people say that before. Justin Fields is a possibility. Zach Wilson if he falls. So
it's a possible trade down spot.
That's
for sure.
Yeah. Them and the Falcons, who I think are up next, aren't they? Yes, they are. I didn't scroll down. But yes, the Falcons are up next. I think it's a prime trade down spot because Matt Ryan's back, they said. Julio Jones is back. I guess you kind of go all in one more year. I guess we can call it all in. But you have a 36-year-old quarterback. You might as well say it. But I have them going Justin Fields, and I think you do as well.
Yeah, honestly, I think if they didn't get a new head coach this year, if they kept, I think it was Raheem Morris, whoever they had before that, I could see them not drafting quarterback here. But now that they have a new coach and it's going to be a new system, I think they try and bring up a guy like Justin Fields while being behind a veteran like Matt Ryan. And it's an expensive veteran. All right, it doesn't, cost you, that little to keep a guy like Matt Ryan in there, and you're not going to win a lot of games if you're the Falcons. Well, if you maybe somehow figure out how to get a defense, maybe you can win a couple games in there. But they're not going to be a playoff team. They're not really going to have a chance at the Super Bowl this year. That's the point I'm trying to make. So I just think you draft a quarterback, bring him up. Matt Ryan is a hell of a quarterback. He can probably teach Justin Fields a ton of things. They're two different play styles, but, Justin Fields' weaknesses are Matt Ryan's strengths and vice versa. So I think that's a perfect combination, and I think Justin Fields is the pick here.
Yeah, I think Penei Sewell was tempting for this pick, but then I looked at their depth chart they had. I think Caleb McGarry at right tackle, who's young and pretty good, and they still have Jake Matthews, who had a really good year the past couple of years, I would say, and he was a first-round pick, I believe. So I guess they can take Penei, but I just don't see it happening. I just think it doesn't make sense based on their roster right now. So I guess Justin Fields. I mean, new head coach Arthur Smith, who, by the way, Arthur Smith had did you see his Twitter video, or I guess it was for all Falcons social media, where he kind of recorded himself trying to get the fans hyped, and it was the most non-hyped video I've ever seen.
I did not see that.
He was "Hey guys, Arthur Smith here.
Hey Falcon fans, I'm so excited to be your new head coach. We're so excited, my family and I, to move to Atlanta and get this thing going. Rise up."
Let's go Falcons. I think it was the worst thing I've ever seen. So I don't know what type of motivator he'll be. And I know my brother, who's a Falcons fan, did not like that video. He called Arthur Smith a bum already. Oh, right. So I hope that for his sake and get him on the cold takes, I hope he's a great coach for the Falcons. So we'll see. But I think quarterback, real possibility with Matt Ryan being 36 years old now. Number 5, we have the Bengals. And this is where your draft goes off the rails.
Off the rails,
and I will say, I haven't watched a lot of these prospects, hence the reason we're doing 11 picks. You're a guy I have not watched yet. Now I'm interested, but I went Penei Sewell. You went with, what's his name?
Rashawn Slater from the University of Northwestern. I think what they need right now, especially considering Joe Burrow's injury this year, they need protection, and they need protection right away. Mm-hmm. They're going to attack offensive line in free agency. I think that's also almost a given, and they're going to attack it in the draft. We already know that. I think at this point, if the draft board is the way that we think it is, it's almost a given that they're going to go offensive line. I think it's almost a gimme. So with that being said, I think they bring in a guy like Rashawn Slater, and I know he's the unknown guy out of the two. You see Penei Sewell's name at the top of the board so much, but Rashawn Slater is going to step in there, and he's going to be NFL ready like that at left tackle. If you needed a guard like the Bengals still kind of do need, I can see you going with Sewell, but they need a tackle more than they need a guard, and Sewell's going to have to make that adjustment. It's not going to be, as quick as it would be for Rashawn Slater. He's the more prime left tackle, or tackle, if you will. I think it's a risky pick. I think it's a pick that definitely not a lot of people are going to agree with me on, but I think it's the right pick in this scenario.
Yeah, you're definitely going to get roasted, I feel like. Yeah. I mean, look, if he turns out to be great, I'll apologize. Actually, I have to watch him first. I'm not going to roast you yet.
See, but if I'm right, no one's going to come back and say, Andrew, you were right. They only come back, Andrew, you're wrong if you were wrong. They never congratulate you when you're right.
Well, I will tweet it out for the few people that follow me. We will give you your respect. But anyway, I'm going with Penei Sewell because this is a guy that was getting hype last year, and when you're a prospect getting hype when it's not even your draft year, that's when you know you're really good. And I did watch 3-4 games of him, and I was like, damn, this guy's really good. I think he's my favorite non-Trevor Lawrence prospect in this draft, and I have not watched everybody yet, but I just feel like this guy is perfect. I mean, he's like 6'5", he's 325 pounds. His movement skills are great, and he's very strong. He's physical in the run game. I just feel like he's the complete package. Now, there is some bust potential for any offensive tackle, but he seems like a very clean prospect at left tackle, and you know what? I guess the team like the Bengals definitely can use a left tackle. They have Jonah Williams, who got hurt his first year from Alabama. Got hurt his first year, came back last year, had some ups and downs. So you can move him the right tackle, get Bobby Hart's ass out of there. You know, former Giant, he's terrible, but I'm sure Bengals fans can agree. Get his ass out of there. But get Penei Sewell, move what's his name? I forget his name now. Alabama guy, Jonah Williams to right tackle, and you would have yourself a pretty good tackle tandem right there. So I think offensive tackle is the pick. I could see Jamar Chase with the the connection with Joe Burrow, but I think if you have a great tackle on the board, whether it's my guy or your guy, I think you got to take one. So I think it makes the most sense, especially coming off the injury for Joe Burrow. So don't want to play around there. Number 6. Who's number 6? Who tanked in Week 17 for number 6?
The Philadelphia Eagles.
So I'm gonna surprise you here, maybe.
All right,
and I made a video about this guy recently
I know who it is.
for his allegations. And I don't know what to believe. I said it in the video. I don't know who to trust.
Yep.
If he comes out clean and he didn't really do these things that he's being framed up for or accused for,
pretty heavily be framed for that.
I mean it's bad stuff. Yeah. But I think Micah Parsons would fit the Eagles very well. So
you know what, Mike? When they tanked that game, I was screaming Micah Parsons to the Eagles, Micah Parsons to the Eagles. Right. The only reason I don't think Micah Parsons is going to the Eagles is not because of the allegations. I just think Nick Sirianni, the new Eagles head coach, probably you guys didn't even know that. We
gotta talk about that.
Kind of like a no-name. People making fun of him on Twitter already for his press conference.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's going to go wide receiver, and I don't think, if I'm being honest, I don't think Carson Wentz is going to stay. I don't think the new head coach lets Carson Wentz stay.
Carson Wentz is gone now?
I think Carson Wentz is going to be traded, and I think I don't know, but I think he's going to be traded. I hear the Colts are very, very interested in Carson Wentz. Wow. We'll have to see how that plays out. They go receiver, and I think they go with Jamar Chase. I think that's the safer pick. I think especially when you have character issues with Micah Parsons, it's not exactly the reason why I'm not picking Micah Parsons, but Howie Roseman has been that GM for a while. He hasn't been the best drafter. The only Pro Bowler he's ever drafted is the guy that I think is going to get traded away. It's Carson Wentz, right? So you're not even going to have him in the building, in my mind. You need to hit on this pick. And I think drafting a guy with character issues, not exactly the safest option. So I think you draft Jamar Chase. Like Mike said, he's the safest receiver in the draft. The only guy that's really proven it time and time again. He didn't play last year because of COVID, so that is an issue, but I think he fits the Eagles well. I think as soon as you get him in that number 1 receiver spot, that opens things up for Rager. You get the offense younger. You're going to have a young quarterback now in Jalen Hurts if it pans out the way I'm saying. I think it just fits. I think Jalen Hurts and Jamar Chase are going to be good together. I think Nick Sirianni, the offensive coach, goes offense here.
Yeah, no, I can see it for sure. Yeah. I just think I looked at your depth chart and I saw that they had
linebackers are huge need.
What's it, T.J. Edwards and that Singleton dude?
Singleton's a beast.
He gets a lot of tackles. Beast. I mean, come on, he's like Blake.
Well, that's why the Giants fans like Blake Martinez. Right?
I was just gonna say that. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
He gets the tackles and it looks good in the stat sheet, but is he that great when you watch him the entire game?
He got a pick 6 against the 49ers.
All right, fine. All right. So, but what I'm saying is they could use more improvements. I mean, they have some other bums there at linebacker. You don't have Nigel Bradham anymore. There's no Jordan Hicks. They could use a franchise linebacker. And I've heard some people say that cover the draft, Jordan Hicks is the best linebacker prospect that they've seen in 10 years. And, this is a guy that you can possibly put at, outside linebacker.
You mean Micah Parsons, not Jordan Hicks.
Well, yeah. Jordan Hicks, pretty good player. I meant Micah Parsons, but you can line him up at outside linebacker, be a pass rusher. Of course, he has all the athletic ability to be great in pass coverage as well, be a thumper in the run game. So, I just feel like Micah Parsons is a pretty safe pick.
He is incredible.
If the off-field stuff, I guess technically, but yeah, if that's not there.
I think it has to be true. You don't just accuse somebody of that. I think that guy transferred, too, the guy that accused he transferred out of Penn State, so... whatever.
Yeah, it's a bad situation if it's true. But I want to talk about your head coach. I know we're off track now.
All right, yeah.
I was not mad, but I was just kind of rolling my eyes when I saw all the people that were criticizing your head coach because, and of course people come at me. It's the Eagles coach, dude. Aren't you a Giants fan? Yeah, but I feel bad for the dude. He just stumbled in a 40-second clip and everyone's like, ha, this guy stinks. He'll be out in 2 years. I'm like, I wanted to tweet this, but I didn't. Being a good public speaker, not even public speaker, but like to the media, that's like what, the 102nd most important thing for being a head coach? Like, who cares? It's so on the bottom of important things for a head coach. If you're smart and you're a good people person, you have a good scheme, like, those are more important things. Like, who cares if you can talk to the media?
The worst public coach in the NFL is the best coach in the NFL. It's Bill Belichick, right? Yeah. He's the worst with the media. And look, it's obviously going to happen. I was watching it live, and I was like, this is not good. Right. But if he can coach, he can coach. It's really all I care about. When he wins one day, if he wins, I'm not going to be going back to his press conference, right? They're not going to give a crap. So when Doug Peterson was hired, they ranked him the worst coaching hire that year. He won a Super Bowl. They're already starting with Sirianni. It's just the way thing goes in Philadelphia.
It's Philadelphia.
It's Philadelphia.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. So we'll find out, but it will be interesting. And you know what? If you guys do get Jamar Chase, I'm going to be interested in the Bradbury versus Jamar Chase matchup. We'll find out how those go.
That would be very interesting.
Number 7. I have a pretty out-of-the-box one, I feel like. Kwity Paye to the Lions, because you know what?
Kwity Paye.
They have no freaking outside linebackers or defensive ends, and I'm like, actually, Jamie Collins is there. I kind of retract, but Jamie Collins is not the same player.
Not a bad pick.
He is in New England, but I feel like Kwity Paye, I mean, he might be a mid-first round pick, but at the same time, really great run stopper. I think can grow into his body more. He's freakishly athletic. Has some pass rushing moves, could be a bit better, but I feel like the Lions like to chase these defensive ends and pass rushers. I could see it happening. I don't see them going quarterback, though. That's one thing, because Jared Goff is down there.
No, they won't.
I don't see it happening.
I think so, too. And me picking Rashawn Slater to the Bengals might have some of you guys thinking I'm going to go Sewell with this pick, but I'm not.
Where's he going?
I hate to disappoint. He's not going in the top 11. I do think if we did trades...
$10.
No, if we did trades, I do think that he's going to be a top 11 pick, but since we're not doing trades, I think they go Jalen Waddle, and I think Jalen Waddle has potential to be the best wide receiver in this draft. Now, you won't draft him as number 1 because he's coming off of an injury, but this guy was the Devontae Smith before Devontae Smith. Okay, this guy's a tank. He can do it all. If we're going to be bold in this video, I might as well say it. I think, honestly, I haven't said it out loud yet, I think Jalen Waddle is the number 1 wide receiver in the draft. Ooh. I think eventually it's going to happen that way, where Jalen Waddle is the best receiver in the draft. Now, I speak a lot, okay? There's a lot of things I get wrong, but this one I think I'm going to nail. And I could see him going to the Giants at 11. I'm pretty sure a lot of Giants fans would be pretty happy with that as well.
Yeah.
But with Jared Goff in there, I think you need to surround the guy with as much talent as possible right away, right? You want to commit to this guy. You just traded your quarterback, who you could have kept on the team. I mean, you could have probably convinced him to stay. Right. You traded him for compensation. You got all this compensation, and you got a quarterback that you're now paying. They accepted his full contract, right? There's no payouts from the Rams or anything. So you're committed. Get this guy some help. I can see the Sewell argument here. But I'm going to go receiver, and I'm going to go with Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, I mean, they have Taylor Decker, who's a pretty good left tackle. They paid him a ton of money. So I won't hate you for it, but I also think they would probably stick Decker at right tackle. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I could see Kwity Paye because, as I said, they chase the pass rushers. They need one. They want to have one. I don't know if that was like the Matt Patricia scheme or whatever, the Matt Patricia... What's the word I'm looking for? But you get it. Like when he was head coach and who they were taking, they got a new GM there as well. So things could be different, but based on what the Lions do, I just feel like pass rusher is where they like to go.
Correct.
As I said, don't see quarterback, but we'll find out. Number 8, we have the Carolina Panthers, and we agreed on this one. It's our guy, Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance would be a nice fit for the Panthers because you have the perfect bridge quarterback, stopgap quarterback, whatever term you want to use, in Teddy Bridgewater. So I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think if they stay at 8, which I honestly don't think they do, I think they could trade up with the Dolphins and get up to number 3 and pick a quarterback that they probably really like in Justin Fields. This guy, Trey Lance, has a high ceiling. I think he has a higher ceiling than potentially Zach Wilson. This guy can do it all. He's big. He can see over the offensive line, and he can run like a 4.6. I mean, he's an incredible quarterback. He's got the arm talent. His decision-making is questionable sometimes. He did play for the best Division II football team. They're like the Alabama of Division II, North Dakota State. Obviously, Carson Wentz is from North Dakota State. Maybe you didn't know that, but, he's from North Dakota State. Hopefully he doesn't go down that path that Carson Wentz is currently going down. But this guy has a lot of talent. This is a guy I told Mike about, I think, about a year ago almost, to watch this guy. He doesn't turn the ball over. He can throw. He can do it all. And if he reaches his full potential, he's going to be a very dangerous quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, competition level is a real thing, and you have to interpret that when you're looking at these players. But I feel like a lot of people made the same mistake with Jeremy Chin last year, who went to like Southern Illinois or something like that.
Right.
And now he's a really good safety for the Panthers. I feel like as long as you can see that these guys are special athletes, which I do believe Trey Lance is. I think he played basketball too. He was very good at that. Crazy athletic dude. I mean, he's big. He can run guys over. He can throw the ball probably 75 yards, 80 yards if he needed to. Like he's like just the effortless deep ball type guy where it's just flick of the wrist and it's going to go 75 yards. I love that. Is he the most accurate quarterback? No. But now we can use the Josh Allen argument. Josh Allen is not the most accurate quarterback.
Went to Wyoming.
Yeah, exactly. And if someone coaches him the right way, and you go to the Panthers with Matt Rule, Joe Brady, sit behind Teddy Bridgewater, who has been a very accurate
Joe Brady has not gone anywhere. He's going to stay with the Panthers.
Yes. So if you have all those with you, that'll help a lot as a rookie. I feel like it would be a good fit. How long does it take him to make his actual debut? It might not be till 2022. But I feel like waiting for a guy like Trey Lance would be the right thing because he's still only 21. Like, he's young. So I just don't see any harm in it. But we'll find out what they do. I can see the Panthers going more of like a win-now type move because their roster's not terrible. They could use some defense too. I get that. But I think Trey Lance, with all the tools he has, it's hard to pass up on. So I'll say that. Number 9. I have the Broncos taking Patrick Surtain. I think you went different in this one, right? You went someone else?
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna change it up. I'm going to go off script here because now I'm thinking this Sewell pick, and there's no way he goes out of the top 10, right? Do I go Sewell here? Nah, no. I'm going to stick with what I had before. I do think Sewell goes in the top 10, but I just didn't fit him in here. I'm going to go with Caleb Farley out of Virginia Tech, I believe. I think, Virginia Tech.
Sounds right.
He is... I'm going to say it again, ladies and gentlemen. He's the best cornerback in the draft. He plays for Virginia Tech, doesn't exactly get the attention that Surtain gets, but this guy can play. He's a more pure corner. He can play deep. He can play slot. He can do really whatever you want. His zone coverage is incredible. His man-to-man is good too. And for a team like the Broncos going up against the Chiefs, the Chargers, some really, really good quarterbacks, you need some guys that can do it all. And I think at this point, Caleb Farley is the more complete cornerback as compared to Patrick Surtain. And I love Caleb Farley. I see a lot of people dropping in his draft. I don't agree with it whatsoever. I think he is a legit top 10 pick. We'll go back in this draft and say, wow, they got Caleb Farley at 9. I think it's possible that we are that shocked at how good Caleb Farley becomes.
Yeah. No, I get it. I could definitely see it happening. I think I had that first, actually, that I kind of rethought or rethunk. I don't know what the word is, but I redid my pick and said, you know what, I think Surtain has had a better health history, but he does scare me in a way because he's not great against the deep ball. We know that, but he has like that athleticism and has the length to break up a lot of stuff in the short-term passing or intermediate passing. So I think that's better, and I don't know what type of scheme the Broncos want to use and what Vic Fangio does exactly, but I just feel like it's a safer pick. I don't know. I mean, who's the guy you had? I forget his name now.
Caleb Farley?
He had, a torn ACL. Yeah. Missed a couple games last year. So that definitely can go against you when it comes to draft time. But I don't know. I just feel like Surtain is probably a safer pick, but not the high ceiling. So, you know what I mean? So we'll see what happens there. Of course, my phone went black. Who's number 10? Are we at number 10?
Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Who do you got there?
I got your guy, Patrick Surtain. I got Patrick Surtain going to the Cowboys. And I didn't say all that stuff about Caleb Farley to paint this picture on Surtain as this bad cornerback. I mean, he's going to be a great cornerback too, I believe. And I think it's almost inevitable that they go cornerback here. They messed up last year. They got CeeDee Lamb, who I loved a lot, but it hurt their secondary not going a cornerback there, not getting a guy in the system. So they have to go back to it this year. I mean, you noticed, even when Dak Prescott was playing, they were losing games because they were just getting outscored. Obviously, that was like a booger comment. They were just getting, it was a shootout, essentially. You need some defense. Put a guy like Patrick Surtain in there who's going to be good, I think, right away because he's had the experience. At Alabama, he's played against some good competition. The only thing I don't like his zone coverage that much. I don't think that'll necessarily be a problem for the Cowboys because they tend to run a lot of man, especially when they don't have the healthiest secondary in the world. They don't want to rely on everybody else. So I think Surtain is going to be able to step in there right away and do well for the Dallas Cowboys.
Another side note, I think he would be reunited with Trayvon Diggs, who was his opposite cornerback, right?
Yeah. Trayvon Diggs was more like the Caleb Farley this year, the higher ceiling guy.
Yeah, I like Trayvon Diggs a lot. A lot of ups and downs, but I feel
Diggs'
like
brother, if you did not know.
There you go. Yeah, I feel like he'll be better in year 2. But I have Kyle Pitts going to the Cowboys.
Oh, do ya?
Wow. Doesn't this seem like such a Jerry Jones pick?
I could see it.
like you have your 3 awesome wide receivers,
and you ignore cornerback again.
I ignore cornerback.
It seems like a Jerry Jones pick to me.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they have I think Xavier Woods is a free agent for the Cowboys. They have to bring him back, but I just feel like you can have like this super team. Not the Philadelphia Eagles 2011 super team, but like an actual super team on offense where you have Dak and you have Gallup and you have Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, then not Dalton Schultz, but you have Kyle Pitts. And it seems like an awesome offense where it can't fail, but you have to hope that Lael Collins and Tyrone Smith and Zach Martin all stay healthy, because when their offensive line was bad, the offense wasn't that good. And Andy Dalton was taking a lot of sacks, and he's not the most mobile quarterback. Dak Prescott's more mobile. But at the same time, I just feel like if you can make your offense that much better, like tight ends don't, I don't want to say don't change the game, but like average tight ends don't change the game that much. When you get a Kyle Pitts who can be a top 5 tight end, that can change the game a lot. So if the Cowboys like him, they'll take him. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not like Dalton Schultz like making you say, no, we can't take a tight end, because it's Dalton Schultz.
It's the George Kittle effect.
Yeah,
he was right in there.
So Dalton Schultz is fine. He's average, but I'm like, if you can take Kyle Pitts there and he's there, then you might as well do it. So
that's a Jerry Jones pick right there. Right?
That
was like if CeeDee Lamb is there, we'll take him. Yeah.
They definitely need defense, but I don't know. I feel like they would do that. But anyway, number 11, last pick. Not actually the last pick, but for us.
Yep.
I have the Giants. He's still on my board, going Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, and there's a guy on my board that you don't have on your board. Micah Parsons is going to the New York Giants. Look, they've had their fair share of character issues. We know it. DeAndre Baker.
Josh Brown.
Yeah, I don't know if Jason Pierre-Paul's a character issue, but him putting fireworks in his hands wasn't exactly the best decision.
Chad Wheeler. Saw what happened to him.
Kyle Lauletta.
They had a receiver.
Aldrich Rosas.
Corey Coleman had PEDs. Cody Latimer PED. And Golden Tate. Like, we're just a bunch of people.
But look, if you guys can get Micah Parsons at number 11, this is a steal. Look, and I'm not going to say I don't care about his past, because obviously it's a big concern. Mm-hmm. But this guy can play, whether you like it or not. He can play ball, and he can play ball anywhere. Now, Giants fans, I'm going to introduce something that I believe like half of you wanted last year that you didn't get.
Isaiah Simmons.
This is the Isaiah Simmons pick right here, and it works out perfectly. It makes the Andrew Thomas pick that much better last year, getting the opportunity to get a guy like Micah Parsons this year. And honestly, guys, Isaiah Simmons was kind of a disappointment this year. He didn't get the playing time that he probably would have with the New York Giants, but maybe you guys got the safer pick there. Micah Parsons is a safe pick. He can ball. He's been balling, and he's going to continue balling.
He's safe as long as there's no legal trouble. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah,
that's
honestly though, I feel like Giants fans last year were very, very thirsty for a linebacker. But now that Blake Martinez is there and he played well, it's like it's not as big of a need. So, but I get where you're coming from. We can definitely use another guy, because the Giants were relying on Tay Crowder, Devontae Downs, David Mayo to be their second inside corner, because they are not inside linebacker, because they play that 3-4 most of the time. So it would help a lot. And I think Micah Parsons is a legit prospect. He'll be very good. The off-field Penn State issue kind of scares me, but if that stuff is resolved by late April and he's there at 11, it's like, hell yeah, you might as well take him. But for my board, I had Jalen Waddle. Giants, of course, have not many game-changing players. They're one guy, Saquon Barkley.
For sure.
That for sure. Saquon Barkley was out since week 2, but that is a running back. They don't have a wide receiver, even a tight end, because Evan Engram's been a disappointment, who can change the game. But Jalen Waddle is a great separator, can make big plays, can stop on a dime, great route runner. So I feel like Jalen Waddle, although, some people label him as like this only goes deep type of guy, probably not the truth. I mean, the Giants don't go deep too much in this Jason Garrett offense. So I hope that changes. But I feel like Jalen Waddle, for how easily he gets open and hopefully over the middle of the field, can be very, very good for Daniel Jones. Help him a lot in year 3. Hopefully make him the top 15 quarterback we need him to be. And if that happens and Jalen Waddle's great, then that's fine. The Giants made a good pick.
You guys heard me. I said Jalen Waddle was the number 1 receiver in the draft. So you guys are getting a steal here. And not only that, I think I saw a video of him playing Missouri. And it was a running play, but it was a delayed handoff. So what he did, he sprinted up the field like he was going out for a route.
Smart.
There was like 2 corners, 2 safeties. They all made a huge hole for the running back to run right through it. He attracts people from all over the field. There were multiple plays where he had 4 people on him, giving other people a chance to get the ball. And that's what Jalen Waddle's going to do. He might not get you 100, 200 yards a game, that big guy that gets all the receptions. He will get your receivers receptions as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, a lot of Giants fans were happy when Odell Beckham was traded. Like, oh, he's a cancer, he's a me type guy. But then realized in 2019 and 2020, like, oh crap, we have no really good receiver on this team. Sterling Shepard's good. He's just a possession guy. He's reliable, but he's not like a game changer. The Giants realized, and Giants fans realized, we need a game changer. They don't have that right now. So I feel like if you can get Jalen Waddle, if they miss out on Allen Robinson, Kenny Golladay, a guy like that, they need to draft a wide receiver pretty early.
Yeah,
that's what I think. So I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, that'll do it. We'll do another mock draft, probably a full round one this time, or next time I should say, probably before the draft, maybe a couple weeks before, so we get some time. April, yeah, my birthday, so even older. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed. We'll talk to you. When are we going to talk to you with you next? When are you going to be on the next video?
I don't know. Whenever the people want me
Maybe
back.
I'm thinking we might do a Yankees preseason type thing.
Look at that. Like, if you guys don't know, I don't know if
Bronx Bombers on IG.
2 S's, make sure.
Bronx Bombers IG.
IG.
He is
Yankee
good,
page.
If you're a Yankee fan, you should follow his Instagram. I'm not just saying that to kiss your ass. Like, you actually put a lot of time into it. Like, I see him on his phone during Yankee fans. I'm like, dude, how do you keep up with this? But you like doing it, so I mean,
I love it.
Yeah, so go ahead and follow him. We'll talk to you for spring training for the Yankees and a mock draft.
Can't wait.
2 videos in April. Hope you guys enjoy, and we'll talk to you next time.